This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
The end of the year is fast approaching, and with it, Missouri's deadline to pay your personal property taxes. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Snags in the global supply chain sent used car prices surging higher during the pandemic, raising personal property taxes along with them. But are they going back down? Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, has the answer.
Yeah, Ann and Mike, only toward the end of this calendar year have used car values started to drop a bit after 2 years of rather inflated prices. But across the board, they're still up higher than you might expect. And many of our viewers have complained about those steep tax bills on totaled or stolen vehicles. The unusual circumstances created conditions ripe for a politician to step in and make some big promises.
When I'm the governor of this state, folks in this state will have paid their last personal property tax bill.
Every year, about this time, State Senator Bill Eigel beats the same drum.
We're all in the process of going down to our local county office and paying rent to the government for the crime of owning a car.
He's backed a number of proposals to slash, reduce, or outright abolish the personal property tax Missouri law requires on used cars, vehicles, and other large machines. But that money goes to local governments, which use it to fund things like police, fire, and emergency response.
To completely get rid of personal property taxes would be very fiscally irresponsible of the state.
St. Louis assessor Michael Dauphin says state law ties his hands and requires him to assess a tax based on what the National Auto Dealers Association says your car is worth.
We simply take your VIN number, we input it into the system, and it shoots out a value.
And that's true even in cases when your car has been wrecked or stolen.
Yeah, I don't have anything to do with public safety, and I don't think the tax laws consider public safety in every individual county when they're drafted. But that's the reality of the parameters in which we're working, and we're here to follow the law.
If you feel the notice you got in the mail is incorrect, you can still file an appeal.
The way you do that is you go to the Missouri State Tax Commission website. They have information on how to file your appeal.
Those bills are due New Year's Eve, the proceeds providing lifelines for police and the pain providing taglines for politicians.
We've got to stop charging our working and middle income class households the crime of owning the car that they need to get to work every day.
And the campaign from rival Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe says he'll support a plan that eliminates the personal property tax while protecting funding for first responders because his highest priority is keeping Missourians safe and our future secure. That quote goes on to say Kehoe, quote, will never recklessly defund the police who keep our communities safe like some candidates are suggesting.
Tonight, a gunman is caught on camera in East St. Louis. It comes after police say 2 deadly shootings could be connected. Our Justina Coronel was at the scene today. Justina.
Yeah, and so the St. Clair County coroner has identified the victims in this double shooting, 45-year-old Danielle Braddox and 42-year-old Sanchez James. Now, police say Braddox was shot multiple times and was found on the 500 block of South 14th Street. 5 on Your Side spoke with someone who lives in the area with some home surveillance video of the crime. Now, we're choosing not to show the actual shooting, but we did review the entire video. Now, it shows a man fire into a car where Braddox was in the driver's seat. At some point in the same time frame, witnesses say the same suspect went down the street to a nearby home where police later found Sanchez James dead from a gunshot wound. Now, Illinois State Police tell 5 on Your Side they believe both shootings are connected. Now, I spoke with Ryan Kaysen, who is a council member for East St. Louis, but he also knows James since junior high.
One of the victims was a friend of mine, went to school, graduated with him. Just a good guy, make you laugh every time, just a joy to be around.
Now, anyone with information on these shootings is asked to contact the Illinois State Police by email. Witnesses can remain anonymous. Now, you can find that email on our website, ksdk.com, under the section As Seen on TV.
Police have made an arrest in a random, brutal home invasion and sexual assault in Belleville. Police say a man forced his way into the home of a 60-year-old woman on West A Street. This was around 5 o'clock yesterday in the morning. He beat, raped, and robbed her, and then he took off in her car. The victim was so badly hurt she wasn't able to call for help, and then someone found her 9 hours later when they came over to check on her dog. Police took the suspect into custody when he crashed the victim's car in Shelby County, Illinois. He's being treated at a hospital in Springfield, and right now his name is not being released.
A program to help track gun violence in St. Louis County might soon be going away. The county executive recently proposed scrapping shot spotter technology, but the county council's budget proposal introduced this week would save it. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer is live outside the St. Louis County Government Building in Clayton, and Diamond reports on what residents and county leaders think about the proposed budget. Diamond.
Well, Mike, residents say they want to see money allocated to the ShotSpotter system, but St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell and the Ethical Society of Police have had their say as well, some for and against these technologies and systems, and the experts have their say too. St. Louis County Council members want to restore $718,000 in funding for ShotSpotter systems in their counterproposal budget. It's in response to County Executive Sam Page's 2024 budget cuts. Aiden Worrell, a St. Louis County resident, says the safety technology would be a needed change.
So if we can go ahead and allocate a little bit of money to make sure that police officers are where they need to be in order to make sure that we can reduce crime here in St. Louis County, that is an incredible way of using money.
SIUE's Dr. Dennis Maris has studied the technology for years in St. Louis City.
And in the experiences I heard from officers across the country is that on the whole, it is a pretty accurate system.
According to ShotSpotter, the cost for the technology is $65,000 to $90,000 per square mile per year, with a $10,000 per square mile one-time service initiation fee. Maris says the system only works if departments are using it correctly.
Doesn't mean necessarily it reduces crime. That involves a whole bunch of other things. So the police department has to use best practices.
St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell supports the program and said in part, ShotSpotter is another tool law enforcement needs to combat gun violence. ShotSpotter evidence often can determine if there was a gap in shots. But the Ethical Society of Police says the money could be better spent elsewhere, saying in part the decision to fund ShotSpotter is one that could be made based on a priority and practicality rather than anecdotal evidence that supports its efficacy. We believe prioritizing investment in crime victim services, intervention, and engagement initiatives, as well as staff recruitment efforts, would yield a better return in our investment. Worrell says it all comes down to one thing.
I would like to see money allocated in ways that are actually useful.
Now, the St. Louis County Executive Sam Page did send us a statement saying, in part, we're reviewing the proposed changes to understand the impact on county government. Now, the County Council will plan to vote on the 2024 budget and full vote next Tuesday. Reporting live here in Clayton, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
New tonight, just 24 hours after he told reporters he was still undecided about running for office, St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore made it official.
He announced his candidacy to become St. Louis's top prosecutor during a press conference today on the courthouse steps. Our Christine Byers was there and tells us who else is in the running.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson appointed Gabe Gore June 1st as the St. Louis Circuit Attorney. That followed the abrupt resignation of Kim Gardner. During a press conference Tuesday, Gore outlined his progress over the past 6 months, explaining how his administration has been digging out from a backlog of 6,700 cases.
I report to you today that our office has retaken its place in the criminal justice system.
But what he didn't answer was whether he'd be running for the office in 2024. He saved that for Wednesday. So what changed in 24 hours? He wouldn't get specific.
There is necessarily a point at which you go from considering to doing, and today is that point.
There are 2 other potential candidates who may run against Gore in the Democratic primary, local attorney David Mueller and former Alderman Mike Grah. Gardner said she plans to run for office again before she resigned. She hasn't answered any of our calls or messages asking whether that's still her plan. Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Gore will be running as a Democrat, and the filing period begins in February. The same political consulting firm that organized Mayor Tashara Jones' campaign is now managing Gore's run for office.
Coming up.